Hello, everybody, and welcome to this interview with Myndstate. My name is Sophie Delves, and I host the Zest for Life show Saturday, 2 till 4 p.m. Now, Myndstate is a very special guest on the show today, and I can't wait to get into it with him. We've got loads of exciting announcements, maybe some new music to play on the show. And yeah, really looking forward to getting into it with you, Myndstate. So, yeah, how are you doing today? How are you feeling?
Good, yeah, excited, and it's
Good.
nice to chat. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, anytime. Well, I wanted to kick off the show with something that's related to the Zest for Life theme. And
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you, what is giving you zest for life right now, Mind State?
oh, a lot of things, but I think in that vein, it's probably there's a lot going on, like, but a good level of busy and a good variety,
Mm-hmm.
and creatively like exploring a lot of different avenues and just
Love that.
taking the pressure off,
Mm-hmm.
having fun, trying, learning, and see what happens. So yeah, I'd
Nice.
say if it's one word, it's variety.
Nice. And tell the listeners who you are and all the different variety of things that you're doing at the moment and that you're working on. Just yeah, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, I go by the name Myndstate. I'm a spoken word artist, a poet, a writer. Um, and yeah, I've got lots of things going on. I'm doing sort of lots of spoken word and music and recording new things there, like vocally.
Mm-hmm.
I've also got a lot of visuals in the works. I kind of love all that kind of stuff, just because they bring to life your words in such like a beautiful way. Um, I've got merch lines coming up. I'm doing a lot of performing, like headline shows. It's just
Amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Really exciting.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much. And I feel like what's giving you zest for life at the moment is zest for life and the variety itself, which is great to hear. We always make lemonades out of lemons, don't we? So that's
Really.
always what we're trying to do. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Mind State, just to, yeah, get into it a bit more, I wanted to, yeah, talk to you a bit more about what you're speaking about at the moment in your work. A lot of your work centers around identity, sexuality, mental health, and we are in Pride Month right now. So, how do you draw inspiration from these things when creating your art?
Um, so I always make sure to write about things that I've been through and experienced.
Hmm.
Um, just because obviously I know myself best, and yeah, I can't really tell anyone else's story except for mine, really. So yeah, just always things I've been through, always things. There's a lot, like a lot of things from my past and growing up, and when I
Hmm.
was in the closet, my journey with all of that, comparing to where I am now. Also sometimes it's purely just things going on in the world and how I see them and how I experience them, and yeah, I use my writing as a good place to kind of vent about that.
Nice, nice. So
Yeah.
you find it therapeutic for yourself, and then I'm sure other people probably find it therapeutic for them when they hear it and can resonate it. Do you often get people saying that they going through something similar?
Yeah, do you know what I do? I do, and I mean, those are the biggest compliments and the best kind of comments I receive. If someone hears my story and it's kind of helped them in some way, or they've, I had one girl. This just come to mind. I had one girl
Hmm.
at a show recently who said she heard my one of my stories about sexuality and coming to terms with myself, and she said that she listened to that and had the bravery to like sort of accept to herself what's going on with her, and she even came out to her parents,
Amazing.
like, and that just I was completely shocked. I was yeah that it just reminds me of why I write those things, and that yes, I write for myself as a form of therapy for me, but the fact it helps other people who can see similarities in their journey,
Hmm.
um yeah, I can't ask for more than that, to be honest.
When you say your personal journey, Mind State, obviously for those of you who don't know, Myndstate has an EP, The Come Out, which came out a couple of years ago. And I think that details your journey in your own words. But, for the Glitterbeam Network and maybe other people who are watching this who maybe have had a tough time coming out or may not even have the courage to come out yet, what would you say to the people that might be watching this?
I would just say that I mean, it gets better. Like,
Hmm.
I think when you're going through it, you feel, firstly you feel very alone, and second you feel like it's never going to change, and you're always going to feel that way. But there are so many other people like you going through the
Hmm.
same. When you get to that certain part in your journey where the acceptance or the compassion you feel for yourself and other people, and you kind of start living your truth, you'll notice so many people
Mm.
have gone through the same thing, and they love you for exactly who you are, and they gravitate towards you, and you build this community, and you realize you're never alone in the first place, and then you kind of look back at the darkness and realize
Mm.
like how much in the light you are. um so just keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, all our journeys look different, but we're kind of all fighting for the same thing, that acceptance, that to feel
Yeah.
seen, the kind of compassion.
Yeah. And I think you're
And
right as well. There is that community, isn't there? Like that is ready to accept you, and you don't necessarily know that when you don't know what you don't know. And then, for example, the Glitter Beam Network and, radio shows like this, and yeah, there is a lot of people who are also passionate about the same things and ready to welcome you, even though, yeah, maybe what you've come from isn't so accepting. And
yeah.
yeah, your story, that the EP that you've got, Myndstate, the come out, it's literally titled
Mm.
that. How was that writing for you and maybe reflecting on that whole process for you? What was that journey like for yourself as an artist?
It was interesting. It was
Yeah.
interesting. I guess you kind of delve into things that you haven't really sort of talked about in that way.
Hmm.
Because I came out a long time ago, and I'm very lucky that for the last however many years, I'm very out and very comfortable and sort of proud of who I am, which is why I'm at a level where I can tell my story through like poetry and spoken word. But yeah, the come out EP is a few years old now, and I think at
Hmm.
that point there were still topics I hadn't, or moments or experience or things I hadn't really unlocked and hadn't kind of come to terms with
About yourself.
about myself, and it kind of
Yeah.
all came out on paper. Even
Mm.
little things triggered me there, or I met certain people and we talked about our stories, and I noticed like, oh wait, that was different for me, or that was the same for me.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I realized I had loads written about this stuff, and I just thought, let's make a project that is just dedicated to that subject matter
Yeah.
and get it out there. And don't get me wrong, it was scary, scary, scary putting it out there
Yeah.
because
I can imagine.
vulnerable, it's so vulnerable, but it feels good, and it's nice to have that piece there that I can look back on and listen to with fondness now, and know that I've written about a dark time, but I've made
Mm.
something positive out of it, which is amazing.
It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. And for everyone watching this, the come out is available on Spotify. And yeah, go and listen to it. Um, and that kind of EP that you've got there, Mind State, that's you spoken word and music in the background, but you also do a cappella, right? And
Yeah.
you kind of pick and choose a little bit where to blend them together. And yeah, tell me about your relationship with music and poetry, how you kind of blend those.
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of, when I started writing, I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop and rap, which
Yeah.
you know, um, and that was kind of, I love the storytelling, I love the power of the words and kind of the pictures you can paint. And so when I started writing, it was always to music.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a long time where I didn't write anything, I didn't record anything, because I was coming to terms with myself, my sexuality, and finding out who I was. And when I became comfortable with myself and started writing again, a lot of it wasn't written to any music. I just wanted the freedom of writing without a beat, just jotting it down,
Yeah.
and kind of see where it goes. And I noticed that that kind of stuff therefore lent better to spoken word, to the a cappella, to those kind of sort of more poetry focused.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But then I kind of miss the music, and
Mm,
I love the music, and I still listen to a lot of music, and it inspires me. And music has such a far reach. So yeah, recently I've started combining the two and creating this lovely mix of spoken word and music. And some tracks I do, yeah, still pure a cappella, same with some performances.
hmm.
Some are full music, and some are a mixture of both. Um, and it's nice just experimenting and having that difference
Yeah.
and the variety again. So
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah,
It
yeah.
is great. It's honestly, it's a totally, from what I have heard anyway, unique sound, and
Mm.
yeah, I think it's great. And when people come to your shows, they would get a blend of all of this going on at the same time.
They would, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, the show. So I've had some shows recently, some headline shows,
Yes,
which
some sold out headline shows in Pride Month, I think is definitely
yeah,
something to celebrate. And yeah, tell us, you've had one already. You've got another one on the 24th of June coming out. So yeah, what have those experiences been like for you?
like I can't even put into words, to be fair. Yeah, I always had an idea of when I could do shows by myself as like the
Hmm.
headline and that kind of stuff. I did have ideas of how they could go, but when you get there and you start piecing things together, obviously some things can change. But the great things about these is they've kind of stuck with how I envisioned them. And yeah, I've had some amazing friends come with me and support, like a few support acts,
Hmm.
singers, some spoken word artists, I've musicians like piano players and guitar players, and kind of just put on this complete like artist showcase. And there's been a huge mix of tracks with the full band,
Yeah,
some pure a cappella, some a mixture, like I was saying. And they've just been such incredible experiences. I can't, yeah, the first one went so well, and I just can't wait for the second.
love that. I think artist showcase is so that's a really nice way to frame it because there are so many different things that go on at your show. And I wonder, I don't know if you would have a favorite thing that you do at your show, what, or something that you really look forward to every time.
Oh, what do I look forward to every time? That's a good question.
More of the a cappella or with the band as well? Like,
Oh, what? I'm gonna say so. The first, not to give any spoilers for the second show or
yeah,
upcoming shows,
if you've
and
got
I know,
tickets for it, by the way, this is a spoiler, so
and I know a lot of artists do it, but I love just walking onto stage and not doing any introductions and just going straight into a piece.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and the ones that obviously the first one I do at future shows might change, but the one I do at these shows and we'll probably do for the second one is I won't say the piece, but it's one of my favorites, and I do it just with piano. And
Hmm.
like, there's something about obviously walking onto stage. People clap and they're happy to be
Hmm.
there, and they've got their drinks, they don't know what's going to happen, and blah
Yeah,
blah. And then you just go into peace, and suddenly you've got people's attention,
yeah,
and they're
like that.
like, oh yeah, they're like, oh, this is okay, this is why I'm here.
Hmm.
And it kind of, yeah, it's just a nice way to intro the show and get everyone settled. And then I do my intros after that, and
Yeah.
say my thank yous and introduce the band and stuff. But I enjoy that. It calms my nerves. It calms
Yeah,
my nerves.
that's great. I don't really think I've seen like a lot of that, to be fair. Just walking
Mm.
out and just going straight into it. That's quite cool. Yeah, so if you're going to the second headline show, then that's what you can expect there. And yeah, I mean, you've got new music coming out as well as we're about to play on the show. It's going to
Yeah.
come out on the 21st of June, exclusive listen on Glitterbeam, and then release it probably at the end of June, the end of Pride Month. We've got a very exclusive listen, but this is Waves, and this is your new song. You've been
Hmm.
working on it with Millie Rose as well, really fabulous singer. Tell us a bit about that process of making this track.
Yeah. So Millie Rose is not only an incredible friend, but an amazing artist. Her vocals, her singing, she does poetry as well, like just all of it. And we've known each other for a good few years. And we became friends like straight away. We always said, let's do a song, we have to do a song, we have to do a song. And you know how it is. your attention's here, your attention's there, you're
Yeah.
busy. But yeah, finally we got into the studio and made a track. And like you said, yeah, it's called Waves. It's about mental health, um, and it's about how things in life come in waves.
Hmm.
You kind of feel like you're drowning for a bit, and then kind of the waves disappear, and you can breathe again. And sometimes the waves come, thick and fast. Other times there's a long time between waves. I think that's just the unpredictability of how life goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, as soon as I wrote it, I knew that she had to be on the hook and just add her vocal touch. So yeah, very excited to release it. It should come out, like you said, end of June. So 30th of June is the aim.
Love that. Love that. I've heard it already. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think you've got, yeah, some really strong messages that the world, needs to hear right now. And, especially during Pride Month, I think it's really useful to remember things do come in waves and that there are good times and then, not so good times, but as the song says, it's kind of coming up for breath and getting that air when you can. And I love from being from Brighton in the UK, we're right by the sea, and that wave imagery is really really beautiful to me. And yeah, Millie's vocals on the track are amazing. So yeah, I just wondered if you thought about one specific time, maybe when you were writing the song, or if it was just a more general feeling that you had with Millie. Um, yeah, what the song was about for you.
I think this one was more general.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, if I pinpointed it to a certain case, it probably would, coming back to sexuality again, would be that time when I was in kind of the closet and you constantly feel like you're going to be there forever and you're constantly drowning. You can't sort of, come up for air. And I think that wave was a long time ago, and I've been really, really lucky, touch wood, with my mental health and things since then. So
Hmm.
I think this song kind of came from a place of we've been breathing and getting our air for a long time now.
Yeah,
Is another wave coming? Is
yeah.
you when things are
Inevitably, probably will.
exactly, yeah. So it's kind of like I was probably coming to, to terms a little bit with that and thinking like, God, things are going well. What's the next thing to kind of appear? And then I realized, well,
Yeah.
I dealt with that and I'm good from that. So any wave that comes now is, I think, and I know I'm strong enough to kind of deal with it. So yeah, that's what the piece is about.
I love it. And I can't wait to, yeah, show it to everybody and then you'll release it into the world and it'll be great. And other things that you're working on as well, you're working on a debut book, I hear.
Yes,
What's been going on? You can also add, author and writer to your string of,
yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's a challenge just because I've never done anything like it. But excuse me, I've got so much written, and I've tried to be really consistent lately with writing. So I'm just
Yeah.
adding more to it on. I guess like I did with the Come Out EP and just put all these things into one place. I kind of want to do that with the written stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm currently deciding whether it's going to be themed or not.
Okay.
Like,
Do
yeah,
more
whether
about
it,
yourself or more general themes.
yeah, as in whether it's kind of on all the topics I write about to give people a complete
Okay.
taste of things I talk about,
Hmm.
or whether it kind of goes down one angle. And that's obviously quite a big decision to make, but yeah, I don't know whether
You could
that'll be a
always
last.
make a sequel, so
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
that's
Um,
great. That's amazing. And is this, I mean, you said that I guess there's a bit of discipline there, right? About having to work on it every day and, make sure that you're kind of slowly chipping away at it. How do you find that process compared to writing a poem or something that's quite short?
it's yeah, it's hard because some days, so I try to set an alarm every day to write, and I tell myself don't get up until you've written at least like 8 lines, 16 lines. Give myself a target.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll struggle so hard to
Hmm.
even write anything at all.
Hmm.
A lot of the times I write stuff and it's just I just think it's rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't going to go in the book. This doesn't fit. This isn't part of the collection. But
It's the process, right?
it's it's the process. And some days I'll write and I'll be like, wow, and I just won't stop, for
Hmm.
like an hour or so. And I'll be like,
Hmm.
this is incredible. And it makes up for the bad week you've had. And then sometimes I'll go back to something I wrote 3 weeks ago and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, actually, this fits in with something I wrote yesterday. And it all kind of
Yeah.
pieces itself together in a funny way. So yeah, it's definitely a journey and it's something I just want to challenge myself to do and
Yeah.
see where we end up.
It's exciting. It's very exciting. I think as well the idea of just getting everything on the page and just getting all your ideas out and then you can kind of fine tune that afterwards, as like a writer myself, try to write songs, it's very difficult sometimes to get started and to just write something, even if it's bad, it doesn't matter. If you keep going, eventually you'll end up at something good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's great. And I mean, what would you say to other artists that are living, in the UK and Malta, where we have a lot of our audience? Yeah, people that want to start writing music or poetry and maybe don't know where to start or what to write about.
I would say yeah, just I don't know, you find what I don't know what things when you get moments of inspiration and everyone kind of knows what they feel like. I think
Hmm.
even if you haven't written before, just write it down. I don't care what it
In
is.
that
If you've got
moment.
yeah, if you've got notes on your phone,
Hmm.
I think whenever you get a moment like that and it
Hmm.
looks different to everyone, I think just get it down and do not stop
Yeah.
until you can't write anymore.
Yeah.
Because those moments are few and far between, but when you get them, they turn into
Hmm.
something incredible. So I think, yeah, don't force it. Those things do happen, but go out and live and do your normal things and
Yeah.
do things you enjoy, and it will all feed into that kind of inspiration. And more importantly, if you've done that and you don't know what to do with all this material, just put it out there. I
Hmm.
know it's scary, I know it's vulnerable, but um, you never know who's listening. You never know who you could help, who could be saved by your words, who could find inspiration themselves. And most importantly, you just can't control the outcome. Like if you're happy with it enough to release it, that's that's
Hmm.
success. That's the biggest win. And then it's out in the world. How people
Yeah.
react to it, you are obviously going to get some people who can't relate, don't understand, don't get it.
Sure.
That's life. That's normal. So, but equally on the other hand, you'll get the people who absolutely love it and will motivate you to keep going. So
Yeah.
just do it, and it's exciting, it's amazing, and you'll want to keep going.
It's very good advice. It's very good advice. I think that as well. I always get motivated, like, always get inspiration when I'm on the bus for some reason. I don't know what it is about being on a bus.
I'm the tube. I'm on the
Is it the
tube.
tube? Ah, it's just, I think, motion and transport. I'm always like, don't know, that's where my inspiration hits. And I'm always writing on my phone little snippets here and there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. I think on the tube is because I haven't got Wi-Fi to
Hmm.
me, so and there's kind of nothing else to
To do.
think about. I think then your mind opens itself to like,
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting. Travel. Yeah, there's something about travel, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much, Myndstate. You've given us so much good advice, really, really useful for yeah, people who would be watching this that maybe yeah, looking for inspiration and looking for a role model and advice. So thank you so much for being on the show today. The new song, Waves, is going to be aired on the show on the 21st of June and then out at the end. And make sure everyone watching this goes and streams it. Is it coming out on Spotify?
It will be out on all your favorite streaming
It will be
platforms.
out on all, so there is no excuse not to listen to it. Okay.
Yeah,
And yeah, absolutely. Please come back anytime. We'd love to have you. And yeah, we'll catch up with you very soon.
yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mindstate.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everybody.